Hi, it's Karen, the Weekend Craftaholic, and I've got something a little bit different for you today. It's a long time since I've done a bit of a product review or first time trying a new product, and I've been wanting to get my hands on these Lindy's magical powders for a while since I saw Missy Whiddon use them. And you can see here I managed to get myself a little collection of them, and what I'm going to do today basically is try them for the first time. Now, I usually make myself little swatch cards of anything new that comes into my craft room, and you can see here this is an example of my ink swatches. So I'm going to use something very similar, use these coin collector cards to put these swatches in that I've created. So you can see I've got some black cardstock. I thought I'd also try it on just some blending cardstock, and then finally some watercolour cardstock. Now I've cut all of these just 2" by 2", and then my idea is I'm just going to write the name of the colour on the back, and then if I want to refer to them, decide if it's the right colour for a project, I can see exactly what they look like. The great thing about trying and swatching these though is you really can get to play with your colours for the first time rather than actually use them on a project straight off the bat in case they don't work or react the way you expect them to. So you can see here I've already started swatching these. I thought what I would do with most of them is I'd put the powder on and then spray it, which is what it actually says to do on the bottle. But what I've done with the watercolour, I've actually wet the watercolour paper first as well in the hope that it's just going to instantly react. Now, bit of a spoiler alert, the watercolour paper is definitely my favourite. It definitely reacts a lot better on the watercolour than any of the other cards I've tried. The black is just a plain cardstock, but I just wanted to see if it would stand up behind a colour. And then you can see here, I thought I'd use my brush. I only do it on this first colour actually, just to try and spread it out a little bit. If I was to do this again, I would definitely put the little cards on the tweezers first before I spray the water. That way I've got a bit more control over where the colours run, where the waters run. So that's probably one of the things that I've learned from doing the swatching. I'm also got to be a bit careful with the amount of water that gets saturated on this cardstock. Of course, I'm going to heat dry them anyway and see how it works with the heat drying. But you can see here with some of them it's just too much water, so having a bit of control over how much water goes on as well is really going to help you decide how the colours are going to spread out. Now you saw with that last colour in the middle on the blending cardstock, the water kind of sits on top, and that's definitely what happens. I definitely am not going to use Lindy powders with this blending cardstock going forward because what it did was just sit on top. What I did do though before I dried it off, I did kind of damp it with paper towels, and it did leave a really cool effect. So you'll see that later when I give you a review of how these all turn out afterwards when they're dry. The other thing I would say is this is a very messy project. A bit like using alcohol inks, you really do need to maybe wear some little gloves or protect your hands in some way because I still can't get the powders off my fingers. It's such a strong pigment. I mean, that's one of the benefits or the attractions of this product. The pigment is amazing, but of course that's just soaked straight into your skin. So just be careful when you're using these as well. Now you can see here, this is where I start. I've done a few little practices of this now, and this is where I start to feel like I'm a little bit more in control and know what I'm doing with this product. So I'm whizzing through these. This turns out to be my absolute favourite colour. It is so strong and vibrant. I will, by the way, list all the colours down below in the description box for you. Now when I get to this point of my testing, I do realise the quantity of the powder makes a massive difference. By accident this came out a little bit faster. I was trying not to put too much powder on because it is only a 2 by 2" square, but I think that is definitely the secret. Again, going forward I will probably put more rather than less of the powder on each of the little swatches. The other thing that I was thinking of whilst I was actually working through these is whether or not the texture would show through on the finished product. It's hard for you to see on camera, but because they are obviously just little bits of powder similar to Perfect Pearls, I've also got some Vicky Bouton pigment powders very similar to that. But yes, I'm pleased to say that at the end of it you do kind of get some little texture bits as well. So another little plus that I wasn't expecting with this product. Now I'm coming to the end of the 7 different colours that I've got, and I actually left my best to last, or the ones that I thought would be best to last. This one I'm going to show you now actually is the one that I saw Missy Whiddon use, and although it's a dark colour, I absolutely love the fact that it's just got so many other little colours in between it as well, lots of blues, reds and greens. And I will slow the next part of it down when you come to see the finished product, because I do want you to be able to see just how sparkly and magical these colours do end up being in your finished layout as well. So I'm going to dry these off and I'll be right back. Okay, so these have dried off. I did use my heat tool on some of them as well as dab some of these off. And I'm starting with the last one first of all. And you can see here just how interesting those colours are. Naturally, the black on black just shows a bit of a sparkle. And this is the interesting colour that I saw on the blending. It's almost like alcohol inks, the way you've got that outline. So two very different looks, whether you use the watercolour or the blending paper. The watercolour paper tends to give more of an opaque look. It's almost like comparing distress oxides to distress ink. It's just got that more of a cloudy look to it, I think. This one, when I actually sprayed it on, you couldn't really see that purple come through much on the black, but once it's dried it certainly has. And then again here you can see as well the layout. It's very interesting. I do like the look of these powders, and very different to the Vicky Bouton powders that I've got as well, I have to say. So I had all of them drying just at the side on my desk. I'm just bringing them all over now, trying not to knock these over, so you can see this is where the original ones were. And you can see straight away the green at the bottom really does stand out. Let's start with the first ones. This was obviously the yellow one, and you can see here on the blending cardstock it's almost a little bit more orange as well as yellow. And when we look at the actual watercoloured cardstock, you can see that vibrant colour coming through. It's just a shame you can't see the sparkle on the video. I was hoping that would come through for you. Now this is where we start to see the pink one, and again 2 different shades of pink, which is really interesting. Didn't come through too good on the blending tool, but I think I just ended up wiping most of it off, to be honest. And you can see on here, this is where you start to see that shine on the black. This is the antique copper, I believe, and the shine on that is absolutely amazing. Now these 2 colours are very similar to the one you've just seen, I have to say, but when you look at this on the watercolour you can definitely see the difference there. This has almost got like a princess glitter theme to it, the way that those pinks sparkle through. Now this is the teal one. Absolutely love these colours. You've got the green and the blues going through, as well as a little bit more of the alcohol effect on the blending stock. Didn't come out as well on the black, but as I mentioned earlier, I probably just didn't put enough of the powders on. Which is why I think this green one is my favourite, because this is the one where I really did put a lot of the powders on, and it paid off. You can see the gorgeous coverage. You don't lose any of the pigment at all. Nice and vibrant, and a really good coverage across all of the papers that I've tried it on. So I hope that gave you a bit of an idea. If you've tried Lindy's yourself and you've got some tips, please share them with me. I'm new to this product, so I would like to learn as much as I can about it. If you've got any favourite colours, let me know, because I definitely will be buying more of these, that's for sure. I'd like to get a stock of these in my craft room. But I hope you enjoyed that. It was something a little different, and I'll be back next week with my Stamping Sunday and Memory Decks Monday. Until then, have a great crafting week.